Okay, one short breathing practice. All right, so let your mouth close, come into a seated position. You can soften your gaze or keep your eyes open. Either way, you don't have to stare at me. And tongue resting on the roof of your mouth. And just start following the air in and out of your nose. Okay, and then start connecting with the breath coming down into your lungs, the lower parts of the lungs in particular. Really start feeling the expansion of your lower rib cage as you breathe in. Expands to the front, to the sides, even into your middle back. And then feel how the rib cage contracts and comes back in as you breathe out. Okay? Along with that, begin to feel the diaphragm moving down as you breathe in. It's like a piston and it's sucking the air down into the lower parts of the lungs. So as the rib cage expands, the diaphragm moves down. The air comes deep down into the lungs. And then as you breathe out, the diaphragm lifts back up, rib cage comes back in, air goes back out your nose. Just connect with that sensation. The nose, the ribs, the diaphragm. And then last part, soften the belly, the muscles around the abdomen, and begin to feel how the belly expands gently. It's not being pushed out. That's a misunderstanding. The belly gently moves out as you breathe in, and then the belly gently comes back in as you breathe out. So that's the mechanics of breathing, right? So it's just mouth is closed, tongue on the roof of the mouth, nasal breathing, rib cage expanding, diaphragm moving down, belly soft and also expanding gently as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, rib cage coming back in, diaphragm lifting back up, belly gently coming back in, air going back out the nose. So that's the mechanics, the biomechanics of breathing easy. All right, real quick on the next part. We don't need to overbreathe. Now, when we're playing a sport or we're in the heat of the battle, you're going to probably breathe a lot of air, right, just to sustain the metabolic demands of the sport. But in between points, closing the mouth, letting your body begin to regulate, calming down the nervous system, allowing better oxygen exchange by closing the mouth, using those mechanics that we just talked about. So that's why I want you to really learn and grasp the mechanics and make that habitual. Okay? That's the biomechanics. So that's lesson number one, simple, and we'll expand on that as far as breathing goes. But just for now, and through the rest of today, tomorrow, the next few days, nose breathing, okay, off the court all the time. Notice even when you're talking. As you're talking, deliberately extend your phrases. Lengthen out your phrases before you take the next in-breath. What that'll do is that'll start teaching you experientially how to regulate your nervous system. As you expand your phrases before you take the next in-breath, you're naturally lengthening out your exhale, which is slowing down the heart rate, lowering blood pressure, and bringing you into that safe and connected ventral vagal complex of your parasympathetic nervous system just from that. So nasal breathing at rest, walking around, talking. When you talk, lengthen out your phrases before you take your next inhale. And then the third thing, which I think we've already talked about, is in your warm-ups, during your workouts off the court, start nasal breathing and seeing how long you can maintain nasal breathing. Okay, as you do that too, you're actually creating a different biochemistry. You're raising your carbon dioxide levels a little bit in your bloodstream, which actually enhances the release of oxygen from your hemoglobin into your working tissues. And the improvement in your tolerance for higher levels of carbon dioxide will lessen your response to breathlessness. You'll be able to maintain more output longer without getting to where you have to hyperventilate and get into that fight or flight mode. Okay, so there's a number of different things going on biochemistry wise as well as in the nervous system. Okay, so that's your goal. Nasal breathing off the court in warm-ups. And when you're in conversation, just pay attention, see what's going on, and see if you can lengthen out your exhale before your next in-breath. Okay? All right.